last game of the season against Bombers. What do you look to get out of this one?
Yeah, we had a stronger view after last week's game. We were really disappointed with our last 2.5 quarters, to be honest, and we felt it wasn't us. So, I feel like we've made some big strides this year in a lot of ways, and we're just more disappointed with. Clearly played a good team, but in the end, this group prides itself on competing to the wire, and we felt like in the second half that dropped off. So we wanted a response against Essendon this week. I know the players are proud. I've known these guys for a long time, a lot of them, and they're proud. So we're looking for a really strong response against another good team this week at the MCG on Sunday.
Rob, you're playing, I think, probably the first bloke named Brief to ever play in the AFL. You've gone through a few debutantes.
Is that a fact?
A name of yours?
Yeah.
I would assume so. I've never heard of one before. Was that an aim to get as many new guys through, obviously to set things up for next year as well? Yeah,
we're still working through. Like, obviously, we got final selection yet. He's in the squad brief, which is great for him, and he's pushing really hard. But yeah, it has been, and I felt like this year's been. We're lucky enough with our strategy last year to get some really good young talent in through the draft, and we've been really committed to making them earn their positions to start with, and I think all of them have done that. But they've also been able to get some really good quality games in, and I think all the Collingwood fans would agree that what they see they would like, and we like as well. Their attitude towards it, the way they go about it, clearly their talent as well is exciting for the future, and I think they're doing it the right way. These kids, we're trying to teach them the right way, and I think the future's bright in the fact that we have been able to get some quality games into these kids, which is a good thing.
There's been some footage going around of Jordan De Goey and Goey and Maynard sort of going at each other last week. This deep in the year with, obviously, you can't play finals, is that a positive to see guys really care so much about what's happening this late in the year?
Yeah, and it's also like getting the facts of the situation as well. Having spoken to our runner, who I didn't chase it up, to be honest. I wasn't overly concerned about it. You're talking about two passionate guys in Maynard and Goey. They're good mates, obviously, so they're comfortable with each other. And having heard what the discussion was, it's storming a teacup really, but it does show care. It does show where clearly they weren't happy with what was going on. So yeah, that was a non-event for mine.
I mean, Rob, for yourself personally, I know that obviously there's discussion around the Collingwood job, but do you have an idea of how things look for you generally after this game's done? Like sticking around here or anything else? Or like what does your future hold?
Yeah, it's interesting because it's been this interim coaching job has been a long journey in the fact that it's 9 weeks. So it's all encompassing as we all know, and I've put my heart and soul into that 9 weeks to try and get all I can out of it. And my focus has always been to do it the right way for me and get to the end having achieved what I want to achieve, with the group that we've got. So I'll sit down next week when all the dust settles there and reassess all that stuff going forward for me. And it's I love what I do, and I love coaching. I love being around young men and trying to make them better. So in the end, I'll sit down next week when the dust settles and talk to the right people and make some decisions about my future from there.
Rob, whether it's at Collingwood or elsewhere, like the 9 weeks you've had, does it make you hungry to be a head coach? Do you still want to be a head coach, or do you not want to be after, I guess, getting this this taste?
No, I just like, as I said before, I love what I do. So in the end, I'm less about like I've enjoyed the role. I've enjoyed doing the role. I think I'm equipped to do the role. I think I can do that. In the end, what comes will come. I just want to keep coaching. I love what I do, and where that is and what that looks like, I'm not sure yet. So, but it's my passion, and I do like being around young guys that are motivated to get better, and that's what I want to do. So I can't answer how that looks right now. All I know is I do like it and I do enjoy it.
have you actually, well, in terms of the interview process for the senior job, I mean, obviously they probably didn't want to talk to you while you were doing the interim, focusing on. I'm just wondering, is there an interview for next week, or are you completely out of the running there? What's the...
Well, this has been clear for me the whole way through with Righty, in the fact that we discussed right up front that we get through this 9 weeks the best we can, and we'll talk at the end of it. So for me, the goalposts haven't changed there. I'll get through that next week. Straight away, we'll sit down with Righty and say, well, yeah, how's that look? And and we'll be fine with that. I think the communication's been really strong all the way through, so I'll be really clear with that. I know Righty will be as well, and in the end, I'll be making my decisions off those discussions there.
I'm not sure if you heard sort of during the Red Ross line talking about Colin when he was sort of suggesting, red flags and that sort of thing about what's going on at board level. I mean, what's your take on that, and would you be happy to stay at the Pies in some role? Yeah,
well, I think the club, all I say is the club is going absolutely in the right direction. There's a great future that's been mapped out. There's obviously there's change coming, and we know that, so that's a given. But I think there's some really excitement around the place. I think once that change is in place, then I think going forward the club is in good hands. I really do. I think there's great future here. I know, been here for quite a number of years now, and knowing even the older players at this place now that they're as hungry as ever to achieve success. I know the pillars of the staff here are hungry to achieve that success. So I think the future is really bright.
Just one on the weekend game. Rob, obviously the Bombers are lining up a final spot. A pretty decent sized rival of yours. How do you knock them over? Maybe spoil their party a bit.
Yeah, we've had a good look, and in the end, they're playing really, really well. They've had a good month, and their strengths in their game are really clear. Their midfield is really strong. We know, they've got some really good intercepting defenders, and we know they're dangerous forwards. And we've got stringers in as good a forward as anyone, form as anyone as a forward. He's got plenty of smalls around him, but their midfield is as good as any midfield going round. So there's a real challenge straight up there. Their stoppage work is exceptional. The way they finish from there is really good. So we've got our challenges, but I think we've also got some really good attributes to throw at them, and what we want to see is that baseline of contest and pressure that we have seen for chunks. So we want to see that for longer. We didn't see that enough last week against Brisbane, but I think that we've got the attributes to challenge them in those areas. We just got to take away those strengths if we can, and make sure we start to get the game on our terms and look dangerous. And I think we have looked dangerous at times this year, and we want to do that again on Sunday.